All right, today we are going to be making sliders. This is at the request of Melanie Jones. That is my girl. You can go check her out at Mel's World 2525. She brings some great content along with a little bit of mess. So, yeah, y'all go check her out. First, we're going to start off by chopping up a whole onion. Then I'm going to chop up a little bit of Italian parsley as well as mince some garlic. I'm going to make some garlic butter to go on the top of the slider buns. Now, I'm going to be using some things that I have from HelloFresh that I'm trying to use up before I move. I'm moving in a couple of weeks, and the last thing I want to be packing up is food. So I'm going to be trying to cook all the food that I have left so I can knock that out. Fortunately for Mel, she made that request, and I was going to be making sliders anyway so that I could get rid of some of this ground beef so everything falls into place. So, Mel, this one is for you. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and chop up that onion. Then I'm going to be chopping up some parsley and garlic. All right, now that the onion and the parsley is nicely chopped and I got that garlic minced, we are going to go ahead and throw in some butter. I'm going to take about 2 tablespoons of butter and melt that in a bowl along with the garlic. I'm going to throw it in the microwave for about 30 seconds until it's nicely melted. And then I will stir in that parsley and it'll be good to go. You can slather it on top of those buns when we're ready. All right, now that I had all of my herbs and vegetables nicely chopped up, it was time to go ahead and begin that filling. So I went ahead and put in a drizzle of oil into a pan and let it heat up so that I could go ahead and get started. I'm going to throw those onions in and let them soften up. But in the meantime, while I was waiting for that pan to heat, I got a bowl and a spoon so that I can try to make a dipping sauce. Again, I'm going to be using the HelloFresh items that I have that are in excess because I'm trying not to pack any food to move. So I've got some honey Dijon mustard here. Nice pack of that. Put that on in that bowl. And then I also had 2 packs of sour cream. So I'm going to go ahead and add those as well. And after I stirred it together, it wasn't bad. It didn't taste bad, but it just didn't taste good either. It was kind of bland for me, so I said, yeah, I'm not finished with that. So I'm going to sit that to the side and let that wait until later when I can decide what else I want to put in there for the sauce. But in the meantime, my pan had heated up, so I had to go over there and grab those onions and throw them on in the pan so get started on that filling. And the dip is going to have to wait. All right, now that my onions have softened, I'm Gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to those onions, stir that up again one more good time. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add in my ground beef. Break out my trusty chopper so I can get that meat all chopped up. And then once it is nice and brown all the way through, I had a package of beef stock concentrate from HelloFresh that I'm going to go ahead and pour in there as well. Now keep in mind, if you don't have any of that, that's fine. You don't need it. I'm just emptying out my cabinet. However, if you do want it, you can always order some of those little packages off of Amazon, or you can use the Better Than Bouillon beef base. Same thing. Same thing. All right. And it's only going to just enhance the flavor a little bit. That's about it. Season that up with a little bit more salt and pepper, and there we are. That is the filling for the sliders. Okay, at this point, the only thing left to do is put the sliders together. So first, I'm going to go ahead and line them, or line the buns rather, with some American cheese. Now you can choose any cheese you want. I like American for this because I like the way it melts. So, gonna make sure that those buns are completely covered on the bottom. We'll put the filling on top, and then we will make sure that those buns are completely, not the buns, but the filling is completely covered at the top with cheese. It's a lot of cheese, yes, it's gonna be ooey and gooey, but it also helps to make sure that the sliders don't get dry. That moisture from the cheese on the top and the bottom lends a helping hand to that. All right, now that the filling is nicely covered with the cheese, we'll go ahead and add those buns back. And after adding the buns, I'm going to go ahead and slather on that garlic butter that I made with the parsley. Just going to smack that on top of every single one of those buns. Then we'll throw it into the oven at 350 degrees, and we'll leave it in there, I'd say, for maybe about 10 to 15 minutes until that cheese is nicely melted and the buns are toasted. Then we'll take it back out and it'll be ready to eat. While the sliders were baking, I decided to go ahead and salvage that dipping sauce that I was trying to make. So I decided to add a little bit of mayonnaise and a little bit of ketchup, and it gave it just enough sweetness. That is exactly what I was looking for. So I added a little bit of salt and pepper, and that was the dipping sauce for our sliders. All right, after about 10 to 15 minutes, those sliders were ready. Those buns were nicely toasted, that cheese was melted, and it was time to eat.